It was one of those days when everything felt heavy, like the air itself had turned against me. The kind of day where every step forward felt like I was dragging a weight no one else could see. Have you ever felt that way? Like life is testing you, pushing you to your limits, just to see how much you can take. If you're feeling it right now, you're not alone. Wherever you are in this world, watching or listening, drop a comment and let me know. Let me know where you're from too. It helps me understand how far my words can reach. Don't forget to hit that like button if you believe kindness should always come first. Let's dive into this story together. The man standing outside the restaurant wasn't just any customer. He was Logan Hayes, a name whispered with both admiration and envy in certain circles. Logan had built his empire from nothing. A small diner tucked away on a forgotten street corner had grown into Savory Bites, a chain known for its warm service and unforgettable meals. But today, Logan wasn't here as the owner. Today, he was simply a man trying to blend in, wearing an old hoodie and jeans, his face hidden beneath the shadow of a baseball cap. Logan had been hearing whispers for weeks, rumors about the staff at his flagship location treating customers differently based on appearances. It made his blood boil, but he needed proof. So he decided to go undercover to see if the stories were true. Deep down, though, part of him hoped they weren't. After all, Savory Bites was supposed to be more than just a place to eat. It was meant to be a haven, a reminder that everyone deserved kindness, no matter who they were or what they looked like. He pushed open the glass door, the faint chime above it announcing his arrival. The restaurant buzzed with activity, servers weaving between tables, laughter spilling out from happy diners, and the rich aroma of freshly baked bread filling the air. Logan hesitated for a moment, taking it all in. This place had once been his dream, something he'd poured his heart and soul into. Now it felt distant, almost foreign. "Can I help you?" A voice cut through his thoughts. Logan turned to see a young woman named Tessa, her name tag glinting under the soft lights. She didn't look thrilled to see him. Her lips pressed into a thin line, and her eyes darted over his worn clothes before settling back on his face. "I'd like to order something," Logan said slowly, careful to keep his tone neutral. "Just a coffee and maybe a slice of pie." Tessa frowned, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. "Are you sure you can afford that? Our prices aren't exactly budget-friendly." Logan blinked, caught off guard by the sharpness in her voice. "I think I'll manage," he replied, forcing a smile. "Can I get a seat?" She sighed dramatically, as if his presence was some great inconvenience. "Fine. Follow me." She led him to a table near the kitchen, far from the windows where sunlight streamed in and gave the illusion of warmth. It was a spot reserved for those deemed undesirable, Logan realized with a sinking feeling. He sat down, clutching the menu tightly in his hands. Each word blurred together as anger simmered beneath the surface. How could this happen in his restaurant? Minutes ticked by, and no one came to take his order. Logan watched as Tessa attended to other customers with bright smiles and cheerful chatter, completely ignoring him. His stomach churned, not from hunger, but from disappointment. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, another server approached. This one was younger, barely out of high school, with curly red hair and freckles scattered across her cheeks. Her name tag read Piper. "Hi," she said softly, avoiding eye contact. "Are you ready to order?" Logan nodded, handing her the menu. "Yes, thank you. Just a black coffee and a slice of apple pie." Piper scribbled it down quickly, then paused. Do you mind if I ask? Are you new around here?" The question surprised him. "Why do you ask?" She shrugged, still not meeting his gaze. "You don't seem like our usual crowd, that's all." Her honesty stung, but Logan appreciated it. "Guess I'm not," he admitted. "Does that matter?" Before Piper could respond, Tessa appeared, snatching the notepad from her hands. "What are you doing wasting time over here?" she snapped. "We've got paying customers waiting." "But he is a customer," Piper protested weakly. Tessa rolled her eyes. "Yeah, okay, sure." Turning to Logan, she sneered. "Listen, buddy, maybe this isn't the right place for you. We don't serve You're kind. The words hit him like a punch to the gut. For a moment, Logan couldn't breathe. His kind? What did that even mean? Was it because of his clothes? His demeanor? Or was it something deeper, something uglier? I think you should leave, Tessa continued, crossing her arms. Before things get awkward. Logan stood up slowly, his chair scraping against the floor. Every eye in the room turned toward him, curiosity mixing with judgment. He wanted to scream, to tell them who he really was, to remind them that this restaurant existed because of people like him, people who refused to give up despite the odds. But instead, he walked out, his fists clenched so tightly his nails dug into his palms. Outside, the cold wind slapped against his face, grounding him. He leaned against the brick wall, trying to steady his breathing. Why hadn't he spoken up? Why hadn't he defended himself? Because deep down he was afraid. Afraid of being dismissed, of being told it didn't matter who he was. And maybe he was afraid of facing the truth, that the business he loved had become something he no longer recognized. That night, Logan called a meeting with his management team. They gathered in the conference room, their faces glowing in the harsh fluorescent light. When Logan recounted what had happened, silence fell over the group. Some shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Others exchanged guilty glances. Finally, Rachel, the district manager, spoke up. Look, Logan, we've been dealing with staffing issues lately. Training hasn't been consistent, and, well, mistakes happen. Mistakes, Logan echoed, his voice low but laced with fury. This wasn't a mistake. This was prejudice, pure and simple. And it happened in my restaurant. Do you have any idea how that makes me feel? Rachel opened her mouth to respond, but Logan held up a hand. No, you don't get to explain this away. Starting tomorrow, every single employee will undergo sensitivity training. Anyone who refuses can find work elsewhere. And Tessa? He paused, letting the name hang in the air. She's fired. The room erupted in murmurs, but Logan didn't care. He needed to fix this, not just for himself, but for everyone who might walk through those doors expecting kindness and finding cruelty instead. Weeks passed, and changes began to ripple through Savory Bites. Employees attended workshops, learning how to treat every customer with dignity and respect. Piper, the young server who had shown a flicker of compassion, was promoted to assistant manager. Under her guidance, the atmosphere transformed. Customers noticed the difference, leaving reviews that praised not only the food, but also the warmth of the staff. As for Logan, he made it a point to visit each location unannounced, ensuring that no one else would experience what he had. It wasn't easy. There were moments when doubt crept in, when he wondered if he'd ever truly rid the company of such toxic behavior. But he kept going, driven by the belief that change was possible. One evening, as Logan sat in his office reflecting on everything that had transpired, he received an email from an anonymous sender. Attached was a photo of a note left on one of the restaurant tables. It read, "Thank you for making me feel seen today. Sometimes that's all we need. A little kindness to remind us we belong." Logan stared at the screen, tears blurring his vision. In that moment, he understood why he'd started Savory Bites in the first place. It wasn't about profit or fame. It was about creating a space where everyone felt welcome, where no one had to question whether they belonged. And so, the moral of this story is simple yet profound. True success isn't measured by wealth or accolades. It's measured by the lives you touch and the differences you make. No matter where you come from or what challenges you face, remember this. Kindness costs nothing, but its impact can last a lifetime. If the story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And don't forget to let me know where you're watching or listening from. I love knowing how far these words can travel. Until next time, take care.